Okay, this is line 42 on page 14. What we're doing here is breath support, so we want to try to hold this note as long as we possibly can. So we look at the note, that note's on the fourth line, which is F. So we're going to, at home, you're going to take this note and just hold it as long as you can. The note sounds like this. You want to keep playing that note over and over and trying to hold it longer and longer each time.
Okay, we're looking on page 14 now in your traditions book, and we're looking at line 43. We have a new type of note here. It's called an eighth note. If you see that the eighth notes in this line are coming on the third beat, and they're counted 1, 2, 3, and 4, as you see on the screen there. The eighth notes are on beat 3. The first eighth note comes on the beat because the quarter note in beat 2 took all of beat 2. So that means whatever comes first in beat 3 starts right on the number. The eighth note gets a half a beat, so the second eighth note would come on the and or the up part of the beat. So if we clap and count that first measure, it would be like this. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Do that with me. Clap and count that first measure. Ready? 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now let's look at the entire line here of 43. We have 4 measures, and all 4 measures are counted the same. So let's clap and count through number 43. Ready? Here we go. Ready, begin. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 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 Now, it says to repeat, but you can do that on your own. We won't do that on this video. We want to make sure that we keep those eighth notes even and steady. So if you're patting your foot would hit down on the numbers, and the and would be where the foot is all the way up. So it would be like 1, 2, 3, and 4 for the quarter notes and eighth notes. So practice that some, and then we can play that together.
So finger and count with me while I play this. Ready? Just say the counts out loud. 1, 2, count out loud. Now. So you see the eighth notes are coming on beat 3. So we have quarter note, eighth, eighth, quarter. So play 43 with me. Ready? 1, 2, play 43 now. So keep going back over that until we can get those eighth notes even. Now on number 44, Michael Finnegan, we have those same eighth notes now, and they're also on beat 3 on each time. So it's the same rhythm that we just did in 43. But the notes are changing. We also have a first ending and a second ending. The first ending tells us that we go back to the beginning, we repeat back to the beginning, and then when we get to the beginning of that first ending again, we skip it and take the second ending the second time. So we play the first measure, second measure, third measure, fourth measure, repeat back to the beginning, first measure, second measure, skip the first ending and play the fifth measure, sixth measure. So let's say and finger the first 4 measures without going back. Say and finger the first 4, we have B flat, B flat, B flat, B flat, B flat, D, F, D, D, B flat, C, 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 A, C, A, A, A. So finger and count with me while I play. 1, 2, finger and count. Now. Now play that with me. First 4 measures. 1, 2, ready? Now let's look at the last four, which would be the first two measures, skipping the first ending and taking the second ending. So let's say in finger, let's say the counts in finger. Ready? Now, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Second ending. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Count that while I play. 1, 2, ready? All right, now play with me. Make sure we see that key signature at the beginning telling us that all B's are flat and all E's are flat. So we're going to do the first two measures, skip the first ending, and play the second ending. So now we're ready to go all the way through number 44. So we play the first measure, second measure, first ending, repeat back to the beginning, first measure, second measure, skip the first ending, and play the second ending. Here we go. 1, 2, ready? So keep backing that up and going over it. Make sure we're getting our new note A and that we understand the first and second endings.
We're looking at line 45 now, and the eighth notes here are put on beat 4. So we would count that measure 1, 2, 3, 4, and. We have a quarter note on beat 1 that gets a full beat. So the second quarter note has to start on 2. It gets a full beat. So the third quarter note has to start on 3. It gets a full beat. So the first eighth note would have to come on 4, because that's the next available part of a beat. It gets a half a beat, so the second eighth note would come on and. So if we clap and count that first measure, it would look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and. So let's go ahead and clap all the way through the line. Here we go. 1, 2, begin with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, and. 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 So if we're patting our foot's going down on 1, down on 2, down on 3, down on 4, and up on and back to 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. So we keep the eighth note even, and those eighth notes are coming on beat 4. Now we're ready to go ahead and play through the line.
So you count out loud while I play 45. 1, 2, count out loud. Okay, play that with me. 1, 2, 45. All right, keep going over that until you have the eighth notes even. Okay, this is line 46, Skill Builder Processional Dance. This uses the same rhythm that we just used in 45, putting the eighth notes on beat 4. This also has a first and second ending, so we're going to work on the first two measures and the first ending first. So say in finger with me, say the note names, ready? Now, B flat, B flat, B flat, A, B flat, C, D, hold, D, F, E flat, D, 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 hold, C, hold. Now we count that 1, 2, 3, 4 and on the for the eighth notes in the first measure. So count and finger. Here we go. First 4. Now play that with me. First 4 measures. So let's finger and count the first 2 measures in the second ending this time. First 2 measures in second ending. Finger and count. Ready? Now. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, hold 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. And that bird's eye over that half note is called a fermata, and that tells us to hold that as long as the director says to, or if there's no director, double its normal value. So now, say the counts and finger while I play 46. Last 4 measures. Ready? And. All right. Now play that with me. Last 4 bars. Ready? And. Now we're ready to go all the way through 46. 1, 2, ready? So keep going over that until you have it worked out completely. Make sure we take the first ending the first time and the second ending the second time through. This is line 47, Baja Breeze. This is normally a test line, so you won't spend a little extra time on it. This uses our new note, our last 2 new notes that we've learned, G and A natural. It also has a key signature that has 2 flats, the first one being B flat on the second line and E flat on the third space, telling us that all B's and E's are flat. So let's go over the first 4 measures, which is the first 2 measures in the first ending. Say the counts and finger with me. Ready? Now. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. A, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, rest. Now notice the eighth notes aren't on the same beat every time. So finger and say the counts while I play. First 4 measures. Ready? Now. Now play those first 4 with me. 1, 2, play. Ready? Now let's look at the second 4 measures, which is the first 2 measures in the second ending. Say the counts say the counts out loud with me and finger. Ready? Now. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. Second ending. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. Rest. 3 and 4. Count and finger with me. Here we go. Okay, make sure we don't play in the rest. Now play along with me, the last 4 measures. Ready, begin. All right, now we're ready to go all the way through 47. We take the first ending, go back to the beginning. The second time we skip the first ending and play the second ending. Here we go. 1, 2, ready. Okay, keep going over that, counting and fingering and playing along with the recording until you have it worked out completely. Watch out for that key signature at the beginning that tells you that every B is flat and every E is flat.